What does God say about fornication? 1 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 1. It is reported commonly that there is fornication among you, and such fornication as is not so much as named among the Gentiles, that one should have his father's wife. Revelation chapter 18 verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Revelation chapter 17 verse 2. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 18. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 verse 3. For this is the will of God, even your sanctification, that ye should abstain from fornication. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 2. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Revelation chapter 2 verse 21. And I gave her space to repent of her fornication, and she repented not. Revelation chapter 9 verse 21. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 8. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 3. But fornication, and all uncleanness, or covetousness, let it not be once named among you, as becometh saints. Galatians chapter 5 verse 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness. Acts chapter 15 verse 20. But that we write unto them, that they abstain from pollutions of idols, and from fornication, and from things strangled, and from blood. 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 21. And lest, when I come again, my God will humble me among you, and that I shall bewail many which have sinned already, and have not repented of the uncleanness and fornication and lasciviousness which they have committed. Acts chapter 15 verse 29. That ye abstain from meats offered to idols, and from blood, and from things strangled, and from fornication, from which if ye keep yourselves, ye shall do well. Fare ye well. Revelation chapter 18 verse 9. And the kings of the earth, who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, shall bewail her, and lament for her, when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Colossians chapter 3 verse 5. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. Jude chapter 1 verse 7. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah, and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication, and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. Acts chapter 21 verse 25. As touching the Gentiles which believe, we have written and concluded that they observe no such thing, save only that they keep themselves from things offered to idols, and from blood, and from strangled, and from fornication. Romans chapter 1 verse 29. Being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers. Isaiah chapter 23 verse 17. And it shall come to pass after the end of 70 years, that the Lord will visit Tyre, and she shall turn to her hire, and shall commit fornication with all the kingdoms of the world upon the face of the earth. Revelation chapter 17 verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Ezekiel chapter 16 verse 29. Thou hast moreover multiplied thy fornication in the land of Canaan unto Chaldea, and yet thou wast not satisfied herewith. Matthew chapter 19 verse 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery, and whoso marrieth her which is put away doth commit adultery. Revelation chapter 14 verse 8 And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. 2 Chronicles chapter 21 verse 11 Moreover he made high places in the mountains of Judah, and caused the inhabitants of Jerusalem to commit fornication, and compelled Judah thereto. Ezekiel chapter 16 verse 26 Thou hast also committed fornication with the Egyptians thy neighbors, great of flesh, and hast increased thy whoredoms, to provoke me to anger. Revelation chapter 19 verse 2 For true and righteous are his judgments, for he hath judged the great whore, which did corrupt the earth with her fornication, and hath avenged the blood of his servants at her hand. John chapter 8 verse 41 Ye do the deeds of your father. Then said they to him, We be not born of fornication, we have one Father, even God. Revelation chapter 2 verse 20 Notwithstanding I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that woman Jezebel, which calleth herself a prophetess, to teach and to seduce my servants to commit fornication, and to eat things sacrificed unto idols. Revelation chapter 2 verse 14 But I have a few things against thee, because thou hast there them that hold the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornication.